speaking of traditional wives and the Bible, did you see all that shit that was going on with our old school homeboy Ben Zobrist?
No, I did hear that he had to go. Last thing you told me was that he was pawning off his World Series ring.
So that situation got complicated, and I don't know how it ended up because he was saying, that's not my ring.
Oh.
So there was a little confusion there, like a little intrigue that it was a fake ring and nobody knows where it came from. Mm-hmm. So that, I don't know what happened with that situation. But the thing that came out the other day was that Ben Zobrist is divorcing his wife because she cheated on him with their pastor.
Oh my gosh.
And that is just like it's even more fucked up. Like
Christian type of scenario.
It's more fucked up than that.
Is there a baby involved?
No.
Oh.
But they were seeing this pastor as a marital counselor. At the same time, his wife was getting railed by him. And he was like paying him an extra like stipend for his marriage counseling to keep them on the
like on a retainer,
straight and narrow. Yeah, exactly.
Oh God. So
he's suing him for like $3 million.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, you go get him, Ben.
Yeah.
What a hussy.
Both of them.
I knew that.
How many kids?
There was something wrong with her. I think he has like
3 or 4.
Three or 4. I knew there was something wrong with his wife when, if you go to her Instagram page, she has very fancy quotes up on her, like posts that are quotes, but they're quotes of herself. It's bad enough to post quotes of other people. That's totally like annoying white woman thing.
Yeah, just girl things.
Posting fancy quotes, fancy fonted quotes of yourself is a whole other level.
What a bitch.
Of narcissism.
What a bitch.
Right?
Yeah.
Benny, what you doing with that hoe?
You know what? I think he should go. He needs to go down to like the Spearmint Rhino in Atlanta and just go fucking balls out.
What is it? The pink pineapple?
Pink pineapple. It was. I think it was. What was it? Spearmint Rhino. There was a place that the guy. I remember. Charles Barkley would talk about.
I know. I know what you're talking about.
Like back in the '90s, like all like the NBA players, like after a game, guys from like both teams would go out to a strip club someplace, and people are like, "Yeah, they're better rivals." And it's like, no, man, they're fucking throwing like $50 lap dances down to the strip club, and they were playing.
Well, they're doing more than that.
Oh yeah.
I think I've told this story before. This was a work event, and we were in Vegas at NAB, the North American Broadcasters Convention or something, and we were supposed to be there looking for new equipment and seeing what the new tech was and all of that good stuff.
You said Las Vegas?
Yeah, this was in Vegas.
Okay,
yep.
It sounds like something I'll tell you after this regarding Las Vegas, but go ahead.
Anyway, so what happened was we were at this industry party and having a good time. And then my coworker's like, we're going to go to a strip club. A former coworker, I'll put it that way. He's like, we're going to go to a strip club. And I was like, and Jordan, who's been on iterations of this program before, Jordan and I were like, I really don't want to go to a strip club. And we both had girlfriends at the time.
And you also don't want to blow money at a strip club, too.
And they had wives. Okay?
It's like the Vegas thing is... It's so pervasive. It just takes over.
Here's the quote. Here's the scumbag quote that I have never forgotten. Not from my coworker, but from his friend who was there independently, but like hanging out. And this like made me very sad inside. He goes, "Dude, it's really cool in Vegas. They'll let you like finger their pussies and shit." And I was like, I have a girlfriend. I don't want to finger their pussies and shit.
Yeah, but if they let you, then it's all good apparently.
I was like, holy shit, your marriages are fucked. Your marriages are fucked.
God almighty, that's just...
I don't want to finger some random girl. I mean...
a stripper.
Wouldn't be the first time. But I don't want to finger a stripper, please.
Oh my God. That's
right?
That's just...
It's cheating, guys. What the fuck? You can't do that.
Yeah.
See, now that you're married and have children, it's going to be extra awkward because all the episodes turn into just me talking about depraved things, and you're just like this angelic person listening to me.
Well, here's the thing. I can bring up stories from my past.
That's allowed.
Yeah, I mean, Erica gets a kick out of it because some of these stories, like, she's never even heard of that.
Interesting. She's really into it.
We would be listening to the show, and then she pauses it and goes like, "So tell me more about this event." I'm like,
"Oh no!" See,
I was like,
yeah. I'm already like, if I was dating somebody now, I'd have to change what I talk about. Mm-hmm. I don't talk about exes when I'm dating somebody, you know.
Yeah, or at least
seems
to them.
Disrespectful. Be like, yeah, there's one time I was like totally fingering this stripper, and then the girl would be like, I don't think I like you anymore. All right, Alex, would you like to begin this week's program?
Sure, I'll go ahead and start this week's episode. Do you want to do a countdown and then me jump into the intro?
Sure, we can do a countdown.
Okay, sure. 1,
2,
3,
4,
5.
It's funny because we don't do we say countdowns, but we count up. It's very, very fucked up.
Oh,
this is the quality. No, we've been doing it for the last 20 or how many years? We've been 3 seasons, 6 years and 3 seasons. We've been like, let's do a countdown, and then we count up. And I've just noticed that tonight.
Oh,
how embarrassing!
Well, it is Culture Doom. So
it's under. This is what happens when it's under my tutelage. It's like fucked from the beginning. Whatever.
Yeah,
it's very depressing.
That's okay.
Feel free to introduce.
Sorry.
Show whenever.
Hi, cats and kittens. Welcome to episode 340 of Culture Doom. My name is Alex, and I'm joined here by a very confused co-host.
I've only been awake for 5 minutes. Leave me alone. I woke up and was like, oh no, I overslept. And not in a normal, usually I overslept, like, I oversleep and then I get up, you know, like, still 15 minutes before the show. This was 15 minutes after the show. And I don't know, I, like, turned off my alarm at some point. I've been getting up way too early. So I woke up at 4 a.m., couldn't fall back asleep, and I kept going. But then around, 6 p.m., I was like, ooh, sleepy baby. I need a little nappy poo. And then I was like, Alex, can we delay the show 15 minutes and blah, blah, blah. And you were like, yeah, of course. And then I still overslept. But Alex is going to lead us to glory.
So how are you, what are you having for tonight's festivities?
I am having nothing. I didn't even, there's a Red Bull in the, there's a Red Bull in the refrigerator that I was going to have tomorrow morning, but I don't want to stay up all night because I have responsibilities in the morning. So it's like, I'm just going to be tired and sleepy baby.
Oh, I'm sorry, sleepy baby.
Should I have, I shouldn't, no, I'm not going to have any whiskey.
Don't. If you haven't had anything to drink yet, don't
just
start.
You'll be listening to this. You'll be talking, and then you'll just hear, and that'll be my head hitting the table as I pass out. What are you drinking, my friend?
I'm having a what is this? Baltica No. 3 Classic. It's a Russian beer.
I would say, is that a beer?
Yeah. It's kind of a hazy lager. It's interesting. The further eastward you get in Europe, the more lagery the beers tend to be, as opposed to like more ale-ish type of beers. I found that very interesting. I went to a store recently. I started buying every single kind of bottle of like Eastern European, like Slav block beer, like Iron Curtain stuff, and it's been a fun experience so far.
That's good.
There aren't any, there's no mango coconut wheat beers or chocolate peanut butter stout beers or any shit like that. It's just
they're really beer. There's a peanut butter whiskey that's popular right now. They tried to do some kind of peanut butter and jelly shot. using this peanut. Exactly.
What
It is
whiskey was the
exactly-
base for that?
It's sort of like the peanut butter whiskey. It's sort of like, what's it called? Fireball. There is no. It's not like a base.
It's just
Screwball
a
peanut butter whiskey.
flavored liqueur.
It's just called Screwball.
Okay.
Let's see. What does it say? What's the ABV on this? It's got to be like 35%. This is a whiskey for children. It's 35% and tastes like peanut butter.
Well, you need to. I think you have to have it weaker so you can be able to enjoy the flavor of the peanut butter and jelly. And
I can enjoy the flavor at 50% ABV.
I can
let
too,
alone
but we don't
35.
put peanut butter in that shit.
This is for babies.
Bebe.
This
Bebe's
is like,
first. Bebe's
yeah,
first
it's like, oh,
whiskey.
the baby's crying. I'm gonna, you dip your pinky in it and get a little bit, and then shove it in the kid's mouth.
Oh, we gave my youngest what do they call, like Gerber puffs? They're kind of like rice puffs.
It's like Gerber Puff. It sounds like baby cigarette brand.
Well, it's
Gerber
made by
Puffs.
Gerber. Everybody makes them, but they're like rice puffs. So he's like, because he's going to be 6 months soon, so he can start doing like solid food.
No, congratulations, Zachary.
Yeah.
How's Nicholas doing?
Good. We he's been doing the swim lessons on Sunday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Did you? I thought you already took him to the pool.
We did.
You just were like, get in there. That's what
Well,
you do.
He does stuff on Sundays. It's kind of like getting used to water and how water is, and like just kind of getting used to like floating and kind of maybe treading water and stuff.
How long does it take to get used to water and, quote, how water is?
He doesn't like getting water in his face, so
Yeah, you
showers
told
are
me
off the
that.
time.
I was going to say the bathtub was a traumatic event.
So Erica tells me that he enjoys floating on his stomach because
You mean
he can
face
lift
down?
No, he can lift his head up, but then floating on the back he doesn't like because
Why?
he can't really lift his head up.
But that's not his... What?
I don't know. He doesn't want to take a shower. I asked him, "Hey, do you want to take a shower?" And he's like, "No," because he's scared of the shower head.
But what if you take a shower together? Would he be like, "Oh, dad's into it, so I'm fine"?
Well, I tried yesterday. We tried that. We said, "Hey, do you want to take a shower with mommy, or do you want to take a bath with daddy?" And he was like, "I want to
he's
take
like,
a
"Why do I
bath
have
with
to be-"
mommy," and I'm like, "We're like, no." He always wants to change. He wants to redo the deal. So we ended up.
Dad always gets kicked. Dads always get kicked out
Kicked to
from
the
mom.
side,
Yeah.
Yeah, just like in divorce court. So we finally were able to get him to take a bath with me, and it was the most manliest thing I have done since going to King Spa with you.
I was gonna say, you've taken a bath with me, so I don't know how it gets
have.
manlier. I don't know how it gets manlier than that.
But there was way more room in that soaking tub compared to ours. And this was the first time I actually took a bath since 2016.
It was very manly, though.
It was like that scene from Ghost,
Scrubbing your
working it up and down.
I've taken
scrub brush.
I have taken a few baths with women in my bathtub. It's fine. It's a little tight, but overall it's fine. American bathtubs aren't really made for co-occupancy.
No, which is weird because you see a lot of old Three Stooges shorts where they have all three of them in a single bathtub, and you're like, what size? Like, it's as big as a Ford pickup.
I hate American bathtubs.
I came to realization that I would be able to very easily reside in a Japanese apartment simply because, one, I've stayed in one, and then two, I think it also helped that I lived in a dorm in college, and if you have a dorm room to yourself, you're pretty much like 80% of the way there. All you need then is like a small kitchenette and then like a small bath area, and you're good to go. Wu-Tang.
Yeah, no, I like it because it's got the little tiled area. That's where you spray down. Japanese bathrooms are like the pinnacle of bathroom technology.
Or bathroom evolution and design.
Precisely. I don't understand. It's always funny to me because in Japan, I don't know how the rest of the of Asia was going at the time. I mean, I assume Korea and China were down with this shit too. But like at the time, Europeans were like afraid of taking baths and were dying of bubonic plague. Meanwhile, the Japanese were making bathing into the most basic traditional thing that they loved doing every day. What the hell happened there? Why were the Europeans so fucking dirty?
I don't know. We were too
English.
busy inventing things.
Right. Well, in Japan, they were inventing cleanliness. And cleanliness is godliness.
And godliness is emptiness. And God
women are
is
so
empty.
dirty. They
It's
like bathe like every 8 days or something. It's very
Who does?
Women. We talked about that. We read that. We read that.
Well,
poll.
Japanese women bathe every 5 days. Then that's the case.
Right. Exactly.
That's a conversion right there.
Japanese
From dollar to yen.
I guess it would be a euro. America didn't exist at the time. The United States.
we're way fucking cleanlier than in many of those cases. Apart from the bidet, like they think
Well, the thing
we will
about
take a bath if we smell. They're going to be like, just spray some Dior on it.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing about Europe is the Europeans get all uppity because they're like, "Oh, we have bidets, and you have your dirty American butts over there." And it's like, hold on a second, you guys use the bidets in lieu of a fucking shower.
Yeah.
So don't you have a little bit of an edge there because of your bidets. I get it, and I'm jealous, frankly. But ultimately, motherfuckers dirty as fuck.
We also change our undergarments on a more regular basis than they do.
Every day, except for when I run out of underwear. Depends how long it takes to get to the laundry.
Then I get a slight breeze underneath there and a head cold.
It's got to be creepy to be a parent and doing laundry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm down with that. I think I'd just by buying new. Once the kid turns 12,
I told Erica she needs to be worried about that stuff. She's like
blindfolded,
unfolding underwear before they go into the wash.
Yeah, you got to be blind. That mom has to be blindfolded when she does laundry after the age of 11 or 12 for boys. But then again, girl underwear is a disaster.
And I think that's kind of why she was kind of more thankful that we ended up having boys rather than girls.
I'm just kidding, ladies. I love your underwear.
We still love you.
That's why I hoard it. I find a pair and I'm like, oh, this is going to come in handy in 8 months when she breaks up with me.
That's okay.
I hear you judging me over there.
I'm judging myself too.
Yeah, I've got like two different pairs of underwear shoved in my mouth, and I'm crying and jerking off. What a sight!
You wouldn't, yeah.
I was thinking I was going to ask you Alex,
if you would be the kind of guy that would actually buy like women's underwear. Like, what kind of guy goes about buying that shit?
Yeah, I would not buy, like Japanese vending machine underwear.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe that it's actually from a woman, and I definitely don't believe it's actually from a cute woman, attractive woman.
Yeah.
I think that was...
Is this a male pube or a female pube?
I think that it's a spray. I think that they have some like a
musky type of scent.
Yeah, I think they just have it, especially in Japan. They would have got that shit down to a science. And so these underwear just go on a conveyor belt, and they just spray it with these like womanly scent that's non-toxic.
Do you remember seeing in the back of like magazines an ad for this kind of like vial of like, it was like human pheromone that was extracted, that they said, oh, if you put this in your cologne or spray, you'll use it to like
pick up
you'll
women.
Use pheromones to like attract like the opposite sex and shit like that.
Yeah, I don't remember that in the back of magazines. I didn't read the weird creeper magazines.
It was like Maxim. I remember seeing it in like Maxim, and they were
I read
like
GQ, buddy.
Oh gosh, yeah, GQ. Whatever.
They didn't have that. They didn't have that in the back of GQ.
It wasn't a lad mag.
It wasn't a lad mag.
Yeah, it's not much of a mag nowadays. But yeah, it was like I always remember this thing, and I was just like, oh, I wonder if this works. But then it had like a $99 like price tag plus shipping, and like that's a huge call. And it looked like
it doesn't work.
It was like half of the size of like an eye drop bottle. I'm like, whatever.
Alex, it doesn't work.
I know, but I'm thinking like that would be the same thing. They would be spritzing in that assembly line with burly men overseeing its spritzing.
And then there's like all these sad Japanese men that are
Just
like
plucking pubes and putting one,
I meant the ones buying it, but yes, they're also that.
Well, they're the same ones buying it. They don't know anybody.
Oh no, you're right.
Like, oh yeah, I want to.
But so to answer your question,
All these Japanese coomers.
to answer your question, I would not buy used underwear. It needs. I need a personal connection to it.
Okay, because like the e-girl type of things, like
Ugh, no.
yeah, that stuff.
Remember the poop cookies we looked at? That was gross.
Yeah, the poop cookies.
Ugh.
Yeah, there are some people who are into that, but it's a little.
I don't think it's not legal. You can't send that.
It just needs to be in a nondescript brown cardboard box.
Pretty sure you're not supposed to send that in the mail.
If you put a smile on it, then they'll be like, "Oh, it's an Amazon box. It's all good."
I bet you if I look up poop cookies, yeah, it's gonna give me something poop emoji cookie recipe. It's not what I'm looking for, Google. I'm looking for the
I will bookmark that for later.
the weird pervert. Speaking of poop cookies, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
It's summer.
Mm-hmm.
We're in full effect. I was laying next to the pool today. It's part of why I think I'm sleepy. Is that I laying out in the sun takes a lot out of you. You know what I mean. It's like you go to the beach. All you do is lay there for 4 hours. And
and you don't do much or anything, and then you just feel like you ran like a marathon.
Yeah, like I think that's part of why I got knocked out was that I was just at the pool for 2 hours. I got a little bit of a sunburn, but I think it'll brown out pretty well. You know, it's like
That's good.
It's a little pink, but I think by morning it's gonna be better.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, it's summertime, everybody, and it's barbecue weather is the important thing.
Nothing but White Claws and flip flops.
But Alex made a comment the other day that confused me, and we both were kind of like, I don't understand what you're doing, and you were saying, I don't know what you're talking about. Because Alex was saying that he brought beer to a barbecue cookout thing, and then it was mad that other people were drinking his beer. And to me, if you bring alcohol to an event, you take it expecting other people to drink your contribution. It's not, you don't bring it for yourself. You bring
Really?
you bring it to See, yeah, we totally disagree with this.
What
Apparently your
parties
wife,
do you go to?
I mean, I've heard of parties. Back when I was a social person, I've gone to parties with people.
As he waxes poetically, taking a slow drag from the cigarette.
Like, no, it's more as I'm jerking off to the old used panties that I had back when I had relationships. No, I've been taken to house parties and to cookouts and stuff, and it's like,
And you BYOB.
but it's not like BYOB. It's not. I'm bringing it to add to the party. It's like there's just a cooler and you just drop.
No.
Well, where do you bring your own cooler then too? What do you do with your beer?
We usually stop off at a place to pick up something to drink, and then you go to wherever you're going to, and everybody brings their own thing. But it's not put in a communal thing.
Oh, I've never seen this before.
No, that's called the ice storm. That's a completely different thing, Brendan. It's not a key party with bottles of alcohol.
Oh, shut up, Alex.
Well, you know,
I didn't know that was a key party, okay?
Okay.
Girlfriend ended up with 8 guys, and I also ended up with 8 guys.
And their underwear.
Oh, no. Oh, it's so sad.
So I'm fascinated by this thing because I mean, everybody that we go to, like if we have like a get together or like a cookout or a party or something, everybody brings their own stuff, and nobody really is ever drinking anybody else's or like shares their own stuff. If somebody is interested in a drink and you might offer them to it and exchange a drink, then that's the only time.
What? And Erica agrees with this process? This is how she knows it also?
Yes, she's just like, go find the furthest away bedroom so I don't have to hear this exchange of alcohol.
What? Why is it taking place in a bedroom?
I don't know. That's
Why
how
is
it
your
always
wife
ends up.
telling you to leave and find a bedroom without
And
her?
then Erica goes, "Where's my lover?" No,
After
we
two
don't
kids,
really.
the sex gets weird. So
Yeah, no, usually no. We have
Erica-
a little portable cooler. So
I have never been to a place where I've brought beer to a party, specifically a cookout, and then been like, "Where's my beer?" Because it's like you bring it. It's like here's what it's like. It's like if you go to a cookout and they're like, you can bring a side. Do you only eat your side? You bring your macaroni salad or whatever, potato salad, and then you're like, "What these motherfuckers eating my potato salad?" No. You bring it to share. It's for the group
because it's food.
So's the beer. So's the drinks.
No, the drinks are not. It's off limits. We're going to be attending a party on next week, and I'm going to put this question next Wednesday.
Please do.
I will put this to the group.
I don't trust the people in your neighborhood now.
I don't trust anybody north of
But they drank your beer though, so I think that everybody expects it to be shared, and they're like, "Why are the Finiacs so fucked up?" Hoard their beers and sit in the corner. It's only you and Erica.
It's just nobody
like, "This is my fucking cider."
Well, because here's the thing. Like, some people drink cider. Some of them want to drink that, hard seltzer crap. Now, one person wants IPAs, and the other guy's doing some sort of microbrew shit. I'm over there with my fucking Busch Lights. Or maybe I got like a special deal and they had like 2 for $4 deal for like Bud Light Clamato.
You were oh no, Alexon. No.
That's good stuff, man.
No. Well, no wonder Alex is bringing Budweiser Clamato and then isn't surprised no one's drinking it. It's like, yeah, this is all for me.
Or a 40 ounce of Bud Ice.
If you bring your own 40 bottle, then that's clearly your thing.
Yeah.
Do you ask for a cup? You're like, I need a cup from my 40.
No, I don't even bother wrapping it up in a paper bag.
Borderline white trash over here. You're making a move.
Me and Chet Hanks, man, we're cruising for Poon.
I'm picturing you sitting in the front yard on a lawn chair with your 40.
Yeah. While my kid plays in his plastic swimming pool, buck naked.
Oh, nice.
I'm just hosing him down with the water hose. Be like, "Turn around, boy, I need to clean your back." And then I got my 6-month-old driving around a 0-turn mower.
I'm just picturing that's backyard material. I don't know.
That's front yard material.
I'm not a big fan of anything happening in the front yard besides lawn mowing.
And then Patrick Stewart shows up in his wife beater and his pit bull and a Kangol hat backwards.
Did you see that? Was that Green Room? Was that the movie?
I think so.
Yeah. The violence is very explicit in that. All I've seen are the outtakes, or not the outtakes, the highlight reel of people dying.
Mm-hmm.
They put on YouTube. It's very carnal. It's like, here's the highlight reel of people dying.
I think that's what most people just want to see. A lot of movies like that, just the actual like death, gore, murder stuff.
It's like a cum shot compilation. At first, it's like, ooh, this is fun. And then it's like after 3 cum shots, it's like, okay, I think I'm done.
Which girl flinches first?
Well, cum shots aren't necessarily facials. It's like a facial compilation.
Yeah, but most of the time they tend to be facial ones, though.
Bukkake compilation?
Yeah, well, bukkake can be multiple things. But yeah, primarily bukkake ones.
Bukkake's all like, I don't know. I'll let the listeners look it up for themselves.
Well, the porn industry, like, that's bukkake, but like they also it's anything that's like covered in liquid or something like that, or like a sauce of some sort.
I'm curious, Alex, about if you consult with your friends and associates on if they will agree with your premise that bringing beer and alcohol to a party or a barbecue is meant for yourself. Because I posed the question at work and everybody agrees with me. So it may be a regional thing.
Maybe.
And you went to school down there too. So pretty much
nobody did that.
Yeah, pretty much your entire, because in college, not that I went to many parties, but when I did, it's like you bring your thing and that's your like contribution. Bring your 12-pack.
Yeah,
put it on the table and they put it in the cooler.
It was something where if somebody, if it was like the people who lived in the house got like a couple cases, it would just be shared by the people in the house, but the people who were coming there didn't get any, unless of course it was like one chick that was like fucking one of the dudes or something like that. But everybody else just like brought their own beer with themselves or dropped it off earlier themselves and stored it someplace.
Because I wouldn't take the beer back with me either.
Yeah, you kind of leave it there.
Okay, so well then.
But nobody would drink it though. I've noticed
that contributes to. But I mean, like in contemporary times, if you brought your Busch Light to the cookout, let's say you brought a 6-pack and you had 3 beers, would you leave with your 3 beers?
I do.
Man,
people do that though.
So I guess if that's the arrangement in where you live, then I guess that's just what it is. I've brought whiskey to friends' places that's pretty much specifically to drink together that night, and then I won't leave with the bottle, even if I want to. I feel self-conscious about it. I think I've done it maybe once or twice when I was broke. And like, fuck this! I'm taking my whiskey home with me because what else am I supposed to do? But I was aware that I was doing a taboo thing, like buying dirty underwear on the internet. Summer barbecues are always weird to me because there's always somebody who brings the healthy side dish, whether it's like a kale salad or something,
or the veggie platter where the only thing that gets eaten is maybe the carrot sticks and
the ranch dip.
The ranch dip, and the cauliflower just stays there and it starts turning like yellow.
I hate cauliflower.
I don't even know why they include it there. I think
why does that even exist? Isn't it just like a weird bastardization of broccoli?
It's an albino version of broccoli.
But it's not that the texture's all fucked up.
It is. It's like brain matter. And now
it's like a bullshit vegetable.
And the thing is, now they're trying to meme it into being like a healthy, like what is it? Like a grain substitute, like for dough. Like they do the whole cauliflower pizza thing.
Pizza thing, yeah.
It reminds me of like this sketch on Portlandia where Steve Buscemi is this guy who works for a vegetable company, and he's trying to make celery popular again. And they're like, so Dave, what's your new thing? He's like, yeah, I'm trying. I've got this new thing working on, and then he's like, he has no idea what to do stuff, and his wife's like, well, why don't you try to do a new spin on the old ants on a log? He's like, oh, that was a huge hit 20 years ago, but everybody's gonna get wise if I try to just replace it with cranberries. And it's kind of like that with cauliflower, because you look at it and you're like, okay, well, it grows on the ground like broccoli. It's sold in the store right next to broccoli. But is it a real thing though, or is it some kind of hybrid that they made? No, it's an actual thing. But I mean, apart from
hybrid, it's such an abomination.
Apart from like a veggie platter, and like I've seen it be like roasted in the oven with like seasoning and stuff. Like
usually, it's just drenched in Cheese Whiz. Mm-hmm. Because it's so
like broccoli
stupid.
A lot of times. Yeah,
it's true. I guess
you could do more stuff with broccoli though. Like you could put broccoli in a soup. Yeah. I mean, maybe you could do cauliflower, but nobody's like jumping at the gun to make a recipe like that.
Yeah. It's too much cauliflower, just no. But so what I was sorry, before we went on our cauliflower.
It's like rant. God was making all these vegetables one day and he started working on cauliflower, and there should have been like an archangel that like put his hand down and said like, no, this is enough.
It was like it's missing something. It's just not. It's missing
flavor or
it's
color,
just
maybe
whatever.
Even. It just.
But yeah, so somebody brings the cauliflower platter, and then mysteriously, the other food gets eaten, and the cauliflower looks like somebody took one bite and then was like, no, fuck this. Or even better, there's like the ranch dip in the middle, but then the chip dip is gone, and so people just start using the dip for their chips, the ranch from the vegetable platter for the chips. Mm-hmm. Why is there the one person who always brings the shitty side dish and then they don't even eat it?
Because it's the only thing they know how to prepare.
It's not. Just go to the fucking supermarket and buy something good and not something healthy. It's a fucking barbecue, you selfish prick.
They should have gotten the Amish potato salad rather than just the crappy regular potato salad.
It just ends up in the backyard for possums or something. It's not even the homeowner, the host is like, what the fuck am I going to do with a giant platter of...
The possum shows up there, he goes like, well, it's not women's underwear, but it'll do.
Yeah, the possums will even be like, fuck this. Where's that hot dog? I smelled hot dogs earlier. Where's the leftover hot dog, man?
I have a question to ask you. You know the macaroni salad that they sell?
Oh, wait, what? Macaroni salad?
Macaroni. Yeah, the macaroni salad they sell in stores like that.
Yes, I'm aware.
Like that thing, like the creamy stuff. Whenever you eat it, do you ever start getting like a weird metallic-y aftertaste?
Oh, Alex, how many years have you been eating expired potato salad?
Since I was 8.
It's because it's been sitting in you know that it's bad when it's a little fizzy. You're like, it's got a bite to it. In terms
but
of
the lady said it was made fresh that morning.
Metallic aftertaste, no. I can't say that that's something that I've noticed. I only get one specific type of pre-made potato salad, which is Grandma's potato salad from Jewel Osco. That I'll buy if I'm having hot dogs at home, like a lonely person. I'll get my cauliflower. Jesus, I'll get my potato salad from the deli section at the supermarket.
Yeah,
but it's like It's called Grandma's potato salad, and it doesn't have mustard in it. That's a big point for me. It's just what is it? Egg, potato, celery, and mayonnaise. So no, I don't know why you're having metallic flavor. Is it the same brand each time?
No, just different brands. Like every time I try the potato salad, or not. Sorry, the macaroni salad. It's just
macaroni salad.
Yeah,
I don't really get macaroni salad very often. Okay. You know where I get it from? I get it from Kaja's.
Really interesting.
They have great macaroni salad at Kaja's. Kaja's is a Polish deli in Chicago, in Ukrainian Village, which is why I mentioned it to Alex. The end. So I guess in summary, I would recommend being more generous with your beer.
And buying your macaroni salad from Kaja's.
Yeah, buy your macaroni salad from Kaja's and stop, everybody. If you want to be healthy, that's what we should do. If you want to eat healthy
broadcast
at the
from
barbecue,
Kaja's one night.
bring your fucking salad and you can eat your own salad and leave everyone else's good food alone. Mm-hmm. But don't bring a cauliflower platter and then eat the potato chips and the macaroni salad and the I don't know what other side dishes, like the other thing I like is I like the side cucumbers in vinegar, cucumbers, onion, like cucumber salad thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm big into that, but I don't like it when they put sour cream in it. It's a little perverse.
That's
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I don't know why they would do that, but
creamy cucumber salad.
Creamy cucumber salad.
Yeah, creamy cucumber salad. That almost sounds like my porno.
Yeah, it sounds like something that they would put on, like as a sandwich, like a chicken salad sandwich.
Yeah, look at this shit. What the fuck? Why do people they go? It's just you had one less step to do with it's like just do one less thing and it's better. Stop making it complicated. Get that sour cream out of there. Oh, mayonnaise. People put mayonnaise on it? Mayonnaise doesn't belong on cucumbers. Oh.
Well, what did they have in the cucumber salad? That was
sour cream.
Oh, sour cream. I'm starting to think that Greek yogurt is a scam, and all it is it's just
a regular
sour cream. That's been left outside, left out in the sun for like a couple hours, and they're like, "Oh, it's gotten a little thicker. We'll just market this." Has anybody gone to like a Greek restaurant and been like, "Hey, what kind of sour cream do you guys sell?" It's like, sour cream.
They don't have sour cream.
And it's like nobody ever heard of Greek sour cream, including the Greeks up until like a decade ago.
It's funny you mention that because I was dating a girl and she hated sour cream, and then I said to her, "But you like tzatziki sauce? That's sour cream with cucumbers in it." Mm-hmm. And she was like, "Holy shit, that's true!" And it rocked her world because I was like, "Whenever we get euros or
little country girl."
Yeah, she was like, "Oh yeah, fuck, I do like sour cream," and then she started eating sour cream. Like at Mexican restaurants and stuff. Fast forward to 3 years later,
including guacamole.
Right. I just realized that it's not sour cream in these dishes. It's Greek yogurt, because then Greek yogurt became a thing outside of Greek restaurants. Mm-hmm. And she was mad at me for tricking her. She was like, you lied to me and told me that I was eating sour cream anyway. But it's like I lied to her, but she still liked the things that she was eating. In her head, she didn't like sour cream until I pointed out that the thing I thought was sour cream was sour cream.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, oh, I love sour cream now. And then she was mad at me because she felt like I tricked her about that it wasn't actually sour cream.
It was the
point
grapes.
I'm trying to make is that you make a compelling argument for that it tastes like sour cream.
Yeah.
It's enough that I accidentally tricked a girl into thinking she liked sour cream because she liked tzatziki sauce.
It's silly stuff.
It is silly. We'll have to look in. There was definitely a period where I was into Greek yogurt, and I did the honey and walnuts. Yeah, I did that. It was like my dessert for a month, and then I kind of got over it.
How does your body take to it? Because don't people eat that stuff for like, what is that? Bio, the stuff in your like digestive tract.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Oh no.
Well, I mean, I don't
Probiotics.
I don't like thinking about living things inside of me. Whenever I see the opening of Look Who's Talking, I want to vomit.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's gross.
I don't get it, but I haven't seen that movie for ages.
The beginning of the movie is with all the sperm swimming around and like talking to each other.
Oh.
Do you remember now?
Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, it's like disgusting. It makes me feel ill. And so thinking about like any bacteria in your gut, as they say, get the fuck out of here. Probiotics, disgusting.
Not even with, what's her face? Jamie Lee Curtis trying to sell you that stuff?
She's not really selling it to me. She's selling it to 55-year-old women.
What if she was wearing the outfit and dancing like she did in True Lies, trying to sell you the Greek yogurt? You're like, ooh, Jamie Lee Curtis, you're so sexy. I'm going to eat that Greek yogurt.
That was a very strange thing to do in that movie.
It was so out of fucking place. 1990s Schwarzenegger movies were so what the fuck.
Speaking of 1990s Schwarzenegger movies, Alex, you wanted to ask me about favorite movies or something?
Yeah, so I was wondering this thing because of a movie I had seen recently, which actually makes this list. I was wondering and you can just go off the cuff as quickly as you can, first thing that comes to your mind. If you actually have any movies that you personally enjoy watching or like, that the majority of people will find it to be a bad movie.
I have multiple favorite bad movies.
Okay.
I would even argue that they're good movies and they're not bad movies at all, and that society at large is completely misunderstood these movies.
Okay. Are they Fast and the Furious movies?
No, I hate those movies.
Okay, good.
Is that what your three movies are Fast and the Furious 1, 2, and 3?
Keep going, there's more. No.
Yeah, but you only get 3.
No. I only like the third one because it's Tokyo Drift.
So I guess we could do this. You go first, and then I go, or I can start, and then you go. Pick your movies,
off the top of your mind, like pick the top 3 or whatever.
Well, like one that I know of for sure, off the top of my head, is a movie called Eye of the Beholder, starring Ewan McGregor and Ashley Judd from 1999, I think.
Oh wow!
That movie got eviscerated by critics. Let's see. Let's see the tomato score. Eye of the Beholder, 1999. It has a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it is a phenomenal movie, and I love it. It's one of my favorite Ewan McGregor movies. It's a great neo-noir film, and I think I've talked about it on my old short-lived movie podcast. It was my pick to show people, because I feel like taken outside of the vacuum of 1999, if people revisit it, they're like, holy shit, this is a good movie. But in the context of Ashley Judd was super popular, I think Ewan McGregor had just made Star Wars, so it was the wrong time for that movie to be released. In and of itself, it's a fantastic movie, and everybody should check it out on perfectly legal streaming sites. Alex?
One of my first ones that I would put on there that I actually enjoy is called The Chronicles of Riddick.
I have only seen the
Pitch Black.
what's it called? Pitch Black.
Pitch
Yeah,
Black.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like Pitch Black is like the first one of the Riddick trilogy, which it wasn't even really meant to be a trilogy, quite frankly. And the first one's more of like a campy like horror survival type of movie and stuff like that. And then basically like the second one was supposed to be kind of continuing the adventures of Riddick by himself. They do have like a few other characters beyond that, and it's kind of campy because Judi Dench is in it, which is kind of like, it's like, wow, he actually got her, but then it was like she was really hurting for money in the early 2000s, before the Daniel Craig Bond movies. And it's funny because I find a lot of people who like The Fifth Element really don't care for this movie, and I kind of think that they're kind of one and the same, even though Fifth Element's fantastic and there's no issue with that. I find it, I'm kind of like, I'm entertained by this movie considering who's in it, and a lot of the special effects are sort of similar in a vein. And it gets a glorious 29% on Rotten, even though 65% of the audience liked it. It's, people were like, oh, it's like, they're saying like, oh, it's a terrible sequel and it doesn't hold up to the original Pitch Black movie. And I'm like, well, there was really no intention for there to be ever any type of sequel. And if this is not a continuation of that same storyline, the third movie is, but not this one. This is kind of like a set separately type of thing.
Is there a third film?
There is. Which I think goes back to the Pitch Black story. I can't recall what it is.
I thought that it didn't get made.
It was. Yeah. It was terrible though.
Oh, it was just called Riddick in 2013.
Yeah. And it's kind of, he kind of, I think it's like he goes back to that same original planet. There's been like a bunch of movies and stuff based upon the Riddick character, but I think unfortunately like the second movie, it kind of gets overlooked because they're thinking it's too wrapped up in like, they try to have it too wrapped up with the whole like monster Pitch Black type of thing and stuff like that. So it's, you know what it is? It's kind of like Temple of Doom. It's a Temple of Doom in this like Riddick trilogy. Where people are like, where's the monsters? I'm like, where are the Nazis? And it's like, where's all the religious artifacts? It's like, there's a bunch of artifacts that he's going after, but it's not like the Ark or the Holy Grail and stuff. And I don't know.
So I just watched this movie today, and I thought this movie was more highly regarded. It's certainly become a meme, and I genuinely enjoy it and think that it's a fun film. And it has a 51% audience, it has a 51% critic score and a 52% audience score. Kindergarten Cop, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. I watched this today on it was on my legally streaming service, and I was like, I haven't watched that in a long time. It's good. It's fucking good. And if you don't like it, you are a bad person. I have to add it to my Letterboxd account. What should I? Let's say. Let's give it out of 5. I'll give it 4. 4 out of 5. It's heartwarming. It's funny. It's really funny. I think people forget how funny this movie is. There's this kid that talks about dying constantly, and I was like, I like that kid. That's my kind of kid. He's like, everybody dies eventually, and then he's like, thanks, I understand. And then the other kid's like, boys have a penis, girls have a vagina, which everybody knows that. Yeah. But the kid who's constantly talking about people dying is the best. Great movie. 4 out of 5 pots of gold. Because Letterboxd uses 5 stars.
Culture Doom approved.
Culture Doom approved. Alex?
My next movie is a really fun, campy movie. A more recent, like when they were doing the whole trend of like monsters and stuff in like the 2000s. It's 2004's Van Helsing, starring Hugh Jackman.
Wow, that is a bad movie.
Fuck you.
Wow. All right.
Starring Hugh Jackman and Kate Beckinsale.
Please, anything involving Kate Beckinsale is usually a bad movie. But please defend it. Why do you like Van Helsing?
If she showed up in my bedroom wearing the outfit that she had in Underworld, I would not kick her out.
Yeah, see, I'm not into that. It's like, do you find Trinity from The Matrix attractive?
No.
Also, I don't know. I'm not into the leather outfit.
No.
It's like it just seems hot. Imagine the smell. And that leather out. If she takes it off, I'd be like, baby doll, no, not for me.
Are you European?
I'm glad that you're right. And it's not even leather. It's
let
like
me walk you to the bidet and get you washed off.
I'm not worried about that part. I'm worried about everything else, like her armpits. Anyway, tell me about why you like Van Helsing.
So Van Helsing is kind of like this, not really steampunk, but it's almost like a goth punk. I guess if I could make up something, take on like the Van Helsing character, trying to make it more action oriented and give him like gadgets and stuff like that to fight monsters. There's a lot of action. It's pretty entertaining. I think the best thing about the movie also is the guy who plays Dracula in that actually does a really good job, just having a great time playing the role of the Count. And it's really neat because it's they have all the characters. They got them. They have werewolves in it. They got vampires. They've got who else is in it? They have Mr. Hyde, like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Frankenstein shows up in it. Igor is in there and stuff like that. So it's actually a fun thing if it's on TV, which more than likely it's probably on like, USA Network or TNT some afternoon. You should probably give it a try and watch it and enjoy it. It's also, I think it was directed by the guy who did like the Mummy movies or something like that, Stephen Sommers.
My number 3 movie, let me see how unpopular this is. Yeah, pretty unpopular. It has a 19% on Rotten Tomatoes for critics and a 31 for audience score. But they're wrong. It's 1995's sci-fi cyberpunk flop. Johnny Mnemonic starring Keanu Reeves. It is
Johnny Silverhand.
Fantastic movie. It has a Tonkin fucking dolphin in it. Get off of my dick, everybody. This movie's great. No, that was like, 95? How old was I? 12?
Wait, what year was this?
95. 83.
95. Yeah, we were 12.
Yeah. So it's a fun, weird, cyberpunk 90s movie. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
I give it 3 out of 4 pots of gold.
Yeah. It's kind of like a true cyberpunk. I mean, apart from like the Matrix, was kind of that. Like they don't really make cyberpunk stuff like that. Like they kind of say like, what would I say? No. Quite frankly, cyberpunk, they give that label to Blade Runner, which Blade Runner is more of like a futuristic noir. But then the second one, I would say, was kind of more towards cyberpunker-ish and noir than like a futuristic noir. But yeah, this one would be definitely more cyberpunk in terms of like computers and hacking and shit like that.
You got a fucking dolphin. It's like a psychic dolphin.
Dolphin. All you need is a dolphin in cyberpunk. Maybe that's what CD Projekt should have done.
And don't they like use the dolphin to hack something? I think so. Anyway, good movie. I highly recommend you check it out. Don't listen to the haters. They're wrong.
Yeah, most of the time, like quite frankly, like you need to listen to like the audience more so than the critics. The critics have become
that only goes one direction. I mean that is how you get into trouble. I say don't listen to anybody. Everybody's stupid because The Last Jedi, the prime example of the critics being completely wrong.
No. I said don't listen to the critics, listen to the audience.
Okay, but then if you look at the audience scores for like good movies, they have the audiences are always they're stupid. General audiences are ridiculous. What did I typed in Phantom Menace. That's not what I meant to type in. I meant to type in Phantom Thread. What did the audience say about this? 71% for Phantom Thread. Because audiences generally will be like, oh, it was weird and boring. If it's any kind of artistic film. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, critics now are just agenda driven. So it's a different...
Oh, they're also giving high marks to that low-key TV series, which I've heard.
That's what I mean. They're agenda
completely different.
Yeah. Okay. The Favorite, which was like my favorite movie from 2018, 93% for critics, 69% for audiences. If it's a real movie, I follow the critics generally. If it's a not a real movie, then audiences, I guess I'll read. But I think audiences are stupid, and critics are generally marginally less stupid to me personally. Mm-hmm. Ever since Roger Ebert died, film criticism as an art form is basically non-existent at this point. So I just read old Roger Ebert reviews
and cry to sleep.
Well, I mean, whose reviews would you even read anymore?
Armand White's.
Good point.
Or what's the?
He's so hateful. I love it. He's so angry about everything. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
There's Kermod. Is that another guy? Kermod.
Kermod and Armand.
Armand White. There was a bunch of Armand White threads that show up from time, but yeah, like you said, like
Kermode.
Kermode.
That's his last.
I was going to say Kermit.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's fine. He's fine.
But
Mark Kermode. Yeah, he's
fine. But Kermode and White, it's like, quite frankly, those two, which are like the more recognizable of the critics, they're not as big of a household name though as Ebert, Siskel and Ebert, and more.
Well, that's because nobody's on TV anymore.
And then Peter,
it's all internet bullshit.
What's his fucking face? Peter Travers from Rolling Stone. Peter Travers thinks every fucking thing. I'm thinking, like, is this guy like in a coma and they just like flash something in front of him and they are like, oh, he breathed it through his tube. That means he likes it.
Peter Travers.
He loves like every fucking movie.
He's Peter Travers was on. He was filling in for Gene Siskel once when Gene died.
Oh god!
I remember he was. There was a couple of Ebert episodes, and Ebert's like just staring blankly at him. There's a great moment. One of my favorite moments on after Gene Siskel died.
Peter Travers just looks like he's confused all the damn time.
It's Ebert. It's them. They're reviewing Magnolia, the fabulous 1999 Paul Thomas Anderson film Magnolia. 3-hour epic melodrama. It's a fantastic film. She talks about how bad it is, and his face is glorious. He's looking at her dumbfounded, and you can tell.
Who is this?
Who was it? It's some critic from, because they did like a revolving hosts thing.
Okay.
That doesn't even say who she is. I love the look on Ebert's face when she calls the film a mess. I don't know who she is.
I love that's the top comment. I love the look on Ebert's face when she calls the film a mess.
Anyway, so what's your final film selection?
I'm sorry, it's still playing in the background. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
I've stopped that. I'll check it out later. My top pick for this, or the third pick, whatever, is the classic 1999 action sci-fi fantasy Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Oh, excellent
the shit show that started it all. But here's why it's better than the sequels. Because it was made by the same guy who did the original trilogy, and he was still able to kind of have his control over it. Everybody knew that with this new trilogy, nobody knows who to really blame. Everybody's pointing fingers. At least with this one, we all knew who to blame for the problems that ended up happening with it. Apart from that, I still think that compared to the yes.
No, I'm just thinking about how you've always been a cheerleader for this film.
A George guy.
Well, no, even before, I think when they first started targeting it, like the Red Letter Media reviews came out and all of that, I remember you being kind of apprehensive about all the hate, the renewed hate for that film. You were like, I kind of remember liking that movie, but you were like, I kind of remember, and then it's built up. And now you're just like, I fucking love this movie.
I don't care. I love this movie. I'm not a fan of the second one, and I'm kind of, it's all right I mean, I enjoy the action parts of number 3, and the eventual, crescendo. But this one, I think it's because going into this, like I had seen when they did the re-releases for the original trilogy, I was kind of more excited to see these movies on a big screen. But with this one, I was more ecstatic to go and see my very first brand new Star Wars movie on the big screen. And then I went to like Force Awakens. I was more like, I kind of have to go and see this because that's what everybody else is going to go and see. So I'm just going to go and see it because I have to talk about something with people.
You were so, your reaction to that film was so tempered.
I think they came into that idea with those movies, even to this day, that since it's being done by this company and not by George Lucas, it's automatically better. And time has shown us that they're kind of on par in many respects.
Well, I agree with you that just by the nature of the filmmaking process of those movies, the prequels are better in every way than the sequels. Mm-hmm. I don't think that the prequels are particularly great films.
No.
But I had trouble with certain parts of the original trilogy too.
Right.
I remember you were talking about the re-release. I remember the re-release and finding the first film when I was, 14 years old, I think that came out, the re-release. And I had liked the Star Wars films up until then. But I remember sitting in the movie theater with my mom kind of bored at certain points. And I was like, what's going on? Like, how long is this movie?
It felt like it was kind of weird. It sort of like felt like somebody took like did a fan edit with like upgraded special effects and stuff like that. It was weird. But
Empire Strikes Back is still fucking phenomenal though. I remember seeing that. My mom and I were like, this is a Star Wars movie. What was that last thing that we watched? This is the real thing.
Yeah. But I think of the post original trilogy movies, I think this is still like my favorite of them. I think it's because it's I know that the sequels were shot on film, I believe.
Yes.
Or was it digital?
They were. Yeah.
Okay. So this one, I don't know, just something about it just seems more vibrant than the fact.
This one was shot on film.
Yeah, I just feel like it's more vibrant feeling than the sequel movies in terms of just the optical look to it. It's got better. They do
so much denoising now, and the film stocks today are so clean,
and fine
grained that it doesn't even look different anymore.
I think that's the problem I had with Force Awakens, where I'm watching it. I'm like, it's too polished, it's too artificial, it's just too pretty looking, but not like, oh, very nice. It's more like it's cleansed, like it got bleached out and stuff like that.
I still think that the opening scene on The Force Awakens, when they're on that planet,
not
like
Tatooine,
they're on not Tatooine.
Jakku.
It's the little huts, little. I think that looks terrible. I think it looks so soundstagey.
It was yes.
It looks cheap as fuck. And I remember sitting in the theater thinking, "What the hell is this? This looks like they threw a bunch of sand on a soundstage and we're like, yeah, it's good enough. Let's go."
Yeah. And then we're gonna
make the background black.
Yeah, we're gonna have Max von Sydow show up for like a couple lines and then get killed. And it's like,
what a waste of a character.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's what they did with everybody that they fucking cast in this thing. They were sort of like, because they said they were like, oh, we have a guy in this casting this that was in this movie called The Raid, which is like another cult classic movie, or more recent cult action like kung fu or like martial arts movie,
It's an
and I
action
think they were like one of the, I think like the space pirates that showed up, like the Asian space pirates and there's the Scottish space pirates, and they're what the fuck was
Scottish
that?
space pirates.
That made no sense. It felt like Begbie from fucking showing up from.
That's stupid.
It was, the whole thing was fucking stupid, but at least with this thing, it's like I said, you know, there is stupid shit. You know who did it. I still enjoy. I mean, I like the pod racing. The best fucking game that came out of all these fucking movies was the pod racing game. I mean, there are the Battlefront games too, the original two, not this shit that came out.
Alex, this was all just an elaborate ruse for you to be able to talk about Star Wars again, wasn't it?
No,
That's what this was. Alex told me he watched The Phantom Menace like 2 weeks ago. He texted me and was like, I just watched this and it's good and my kid likes it. And now 2 weeks later, it's like, oh, let's talk about 3 movies that and then magically it ends up on Star Wars again.
No, well, it's like I said, it's like one of the more favorite movie. Like, okay. Listen, they're better than the sequels. I'll say it.
I don't hate the prequels, and you're right that they are better than the sequels. Oh. I don't hate them the way that some people do. Mm-hmm. I don't think Attack of the Clones is a very good film.
No,
I remember
Detective Obi-Wan is the best part. It should have been its own film. Yes, this was to get me to talk about fame.
Yeah, I knew. Oh, I knew. I already came to that conclusion.
We should take a break.
Yeah, we're going to take a break, and I'm going to pour... I drank a Red Bull, so now I'm really up. I'm actually awake, so now the episode's going to suffer because I'm here.
And I'm looking at pictures of Olivia Hussey, so I'm up also in a different sense.
Well, I'll be back in 5 minutes, so you take care of whatever you need to take care of. Was that a spitting sound effect, or was that a squirting?
Oh, something was spitting, all right.
God. All right, we'll be back right after this.
What's the dramatic story of Johnny Cash's recent brush with death? Inquiring minds want to know.
I want to know.
What does a Blockbuster book exclusive reveal about American couples and marital strife? This week's National Enquirer tells you. Can you cheer up your wardrobe for under $10 this Christmas? What signals tell you someone's secretly attracted to you?
It's in the Enquirer.
If Johnny Carson were free, would he marry this woman? Find out in the Enquirer. Over 100 features for people with inquiring minds.
Like me.
All right, are you ready, Professor Alex?
I am ready and set, Brendan.
So you say, hey, or I guess I'll say welcome back, blah, blah, and then you say, hey, Brendan, do you know what time it is?
Okay.
And I'll say, what time is it? And then you can do your thing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Culture 2. Oh, it's so pathetic. This show is a disaster.
This show is amazing.
Oh, man. Oh,
I'm the cheerleader here in drag, so
you're always the cheerleader of the show. I'm always like grumpy butt being like, this is the worst thing we've ever done, and then you go, no, it's great, I'm having a great time, and it's like, but Alex, it's not about us having a great time, it's about the audience having a great time.
Yeah, but guess what, Brendan? Do you know what time it is?
What time is it?
It is time once again for
Professor Alex's fascinating factoids and other such trivia.
Professor Alex's fascinating factoids and other such trivia.
I love that you feel compelled to not only say the entire title, but also make little music sounds.
Well, I don't know where you like have to do the edit and the cut and stuff.
I always say, I mean, I take care of you, buddy.
Okay, thank you. I got your back. You got my back.
Yeah, I always. My job is to make you look good.
And oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you also.
And I make sure that my partner always has a happy ending.
Alex, Professor Alex, welcome back to the program. It's very nice.
Glad to be here, Brendan. I was in the other room having coffee and donuts at craft services, and I heard you guys talking about
the green room,
Christmas. The green room. That's never green. It's more burgundy. Anyways, I've got my lab coat on. Sorry.
Doing blow with the interns.
All two of them. Yes, so our first factoid this week is a historical factoid regarding the American Revolution. And it has to do with the American Revolutionary troops, which were the Americans are considered the colonist rebels at the time, actually attempted to assault a British garrison that was stationed in Quebec City, but were unsuccessful in the Battle of Quebec in 1775. Better luck next time. War of 1812. Better luck next time.
All right, Professor Alex.
Okay, anyways.
What's next?
The next fascinating factoid has to do with the animal kingdom. And basically, chickens were originally raised by humans for cockfighting, but were basically then domesticated and utilized for food sources around the 4th to 2nd century BC in the Hellenistic areas of Earth, basically any type of Greek regions.
So the original purpose of the chicken was cockfights?
Yes. MMA.
That's weird.
Animal MMA.
That's really weird.
They serve no other purpose.
But so they weren't even eating them after the cockfight?
I guess not. I think they were used for like special religious purposes. And I guess the loser.
I was
would
like,
be
they used them.
sacrificed.
They used them for cockfighting, and also they used them to fight each other.
Yes, done by the Greeks. Which I mean, the Spartans did enough cockfighting as it was.
Professor Alex.
Okay, our third factoid has to do with military, and the military rank or position of a dragoon was originally meant to be utilized as a form of mounted infantry. They pretty much utilized horses in the beginning to be able to get around the battlefields in order to go and flank the enemy forces, and would then dismount and fight on foot using carbines or rifles. Dragoons being some of the very earliest military units that would be utilizing either of those types of firearms prior to the regular foot soldiers utilizing them.
Based.
And fancy hat pilled.
Alex-san.
Get in the plug suit, Shinji.
I think at this point we're supposed to talk about Soko ga Shiritai.
Yes, Soko ga Shiritai. So, as everybody knows here, that we enjoy Japanese shit way too much. So, Soko ga Shiritai, it is a television series that was broadcasted on Tokyo Broadcast Station, or TBS, which is called there in Japan. It was kind of funny. And
very different content.
Yeah. And what is it translated? I want to know about that. Or that over there, I want to see. It's something like that. I want to see that thing or something. It's something that's the way the word is. It
sounds like a porno.
Yes. So Soko ga Shiritai, it was a series, informational series, which was broadcast from 1982 until 1997, and it had 725 episodes.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Most people.
I thought I found a lot of them, but apparently not.
Yeah, it seems like most people will find between about 70 to 85 episodes available online. And what it is that basically there was usually set in two different types of theme episodes. One of them was basically, let's go and do like a travel log of taking like a train ride or a bus ride to a different part of Japan, like the Izu Peninsula or Hokkaido, or we're going to go on a hot spring tour of the countryside, maybe do like a day trip to a seaside town or something like that. Another theme would be basically where they did kind of an in-depth expose for different types of ideas or subject matters. One of them would be, we're going to talk about vending machines. Another one is going to be about sports fandoms. Another expose would be about fancy hotels. And it was not necessarily a Japanese specific subject matter, which they did have some things such as that. But it was basically kind of like just how the Japanese do something, or just like what it is in their daily life, such as I remember there was one episode where they did mail order shopping with catalogs, because a lot of this took place in the 80s and early 90s, in which there was no internet, so everything was done via catalog sales, like the old JCPenney kind. Another one was where they had 1,000 yen restaurants. Like, can you get a good meal with 1,000 yen restaurant? Let's go around the city.
In 1980, I certainly hope so.
Yeah. They went around restaurants to see what kind of meals they had. There was another one about where they had a bunch of like young people, and they're asking them why everybody is coloring their hair brown because everybody has black hair, and they went to. I remember they went to a company that does hair dyes, and they actually had a lab there, and they would have the sales representatives come in there and kind of try out the hair colors. And this one guy got his hair done like this dark magenta, and then they sent him home, and the wife's just like, he looks ridiculous.
Nani?
Yeah, so they're very interesting, and I kind of enjoy a lot of them because you get to learn a lot of very unique and personable people. And even though this was back in the 80s and early 90s, a lot of these episodes were right before the 1990s economy bubble burst in Japan, which the 90s created, even though it was bad economically, it made some of the best anime that their industry has made ever. But it was kind of showing like the before and after and what people were talking about and their outlook for life and stuff like that. And a lot of the people you meet, where there was one episode where there was an elderly lady who kind of went along this one train line selling handmade brooms. There was another one where it had to do, I believe, with young parents. And I remember one episode where there was a husband and a wife, and I believe that they were both visually impaired or blind. The wife fully, the husband kind of very badly impaired, and they were actually raising like a 1-year-old like daughter. And the way that they were like, we have to try to be able to adapt our life around her and how we can do things and stuff like that. And you kind of wonder. You meet a lot of these people, or people who owned like restaurants or family businesses, and you kind of wonder like, how was life for them? How did they, how have they been the years since they were on the show and stuff like that? Which is, you get more of a very sweet kind of personable relationship with these people, even though you're watching something from a completely different country on the other side of the world, which took place 30 years ago in some cases. But it's interesting to see how it is and just how they handle things. And for me and Brendan, it's I think we kind of enjoy this because it's the episodes are about 45 minutes long, sometimes 50, and it's something that we enjoy because as when we were younger, growing up in Chicago, the local PB.
I was going to talk about this.
You go ahead. You tell.
No, you do it.
Okay.
You're on a roll.
It reminds us of a show called Wild Chicago, which was on WTTW Channel 11, which was the PBS station here in Chicago, and it was hosted by this guy called Will Klinger. There was a different host in the beginning, but I think Will Klinger was the one which most people remember. It was like Mike and Joel on Mystery Science. I think the original guy was called Ben something, but Will Klinger was
Ben Loves Chicago.
Yeah,
was the spinoff.
Was the spinoff? Yeah. But Will Klinger was like the Mike Nelson of the series, and he would go around to different neighborhoods in Chicago, and they would go and kind of interview people who were kind of not your stereotypical type of person, where like maybe they had a museum that was dedicated towards metal collectible cars. You would go to a store that sold unique pieces of furniture. You would go sometimes to like a late night ballroom dancing class of some sort.
Or potentially a suburban library mini convention of Klingon impersonators.
Klingons, yes, both classic and next generation.
Excuse me, not impersonators, actual Klingons.
Yeah, like Star Trek, like Klingon Star Trek fan club. Like
Alex was in an episode. I'm looking for the photo right now.
I was in an episode, yeah, and my whole family was. It was a great day, and I remember they actually the episode where they actually had Will Klinger sit down and put on the prosthetics and the whole costume and get the Klingon hair, and then they went marching down. I think it was Ardmore in Villa Park, and they went around town just like carrying like the Klingon flag. I'm just like, this is crazy, but it was great. It was something unique, and it was nice because it basically kind of similar to like a lot of episodes of of Soko. Wild Chicago, at the end of each segment, they would be like, hey, if somebody is interested in this, how can they contact you? Where are you located? What are your hours and stuff like that? And it was kind of a way to trump up kind of free advertising business for a lot of these individuals because this was their livelihood. So this was kind of a nice way of them being able to go.
Yeah, especially without the internet.
Yeah, like we said, there's Soko had the thing about mail order stuff. This, I mean, when they were at the Klingon thing, I think it was like in '93 or something like that.
I don't
94.
see the Klingon thing online anymore.
That's weird.
You would think Klingon Wild Chicago would bring it up. Was it under a different name?
Let me see here. I can get you.
I have it. Oh, I saved
you do
that.
have it. Okay.
As soon as I found out that happened, Oh wait, Villa Park Library. There it is. It's not labeled Klingon.
Oh, okay.
It was 1993. It was August 7th, 1993.
Mm.
You should save that for your own records. Sorry, I'm looking. But yes, as Alex is saying, now that I've sidetracked him, I found the reason I found this show was because I was looking. I don't remember why I was looking for it, but I was looking for Japanese baths. I think we're look at that, bookending the show. We started off talking about Japanese baths, and now we're going to end the show. I was looking for stuff about Japanese baths, and the episode about the baths came up, and I watched it and was like, what is this show and why is it subtitled and all of that? And then I stumbled across a mega link that had 80 episodes for it and downloaded it and started watching them before bed, basically. The thing about watching this now that and maybe it's just my mindset at the time, I actually find the series kind of depressing because everything is so much better.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of distressing how it's that naive. It's almost like watching Leave It to Beaver, where there's like bad shit going on and whatever, but it's not nearly as bad as it is now. And so watching it, I kind of get melancholy because it's so it has that look of 90s video.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of, I find it's longing for a simpler time because I'm elderly now, and I do that. I long for a simpler time that was better by my estimation. But taking that out of the equation, it's still a very, very fun show to watch. There's plenty of episodes on YouTube. They're all very interesting. They're all pretty fun. You get a nice insight into Japanese culture in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
That's very honest, and it's not as manufactured as like the other shows, that the game shows and all of that kind of shit. That's just it's more of a documentary type thing. You find out about things that are like I was watching the episode where they were making the fish cake. And it was like the one guy left in Tokyo, and this is in the 90s, that did it by hand, and how they do it. And how it's very very Japanese how they do it. Because it's very precise and calculated and striving for the perfect version of making a fish cake. Yeah. And the host eats it and is like, oh my god, this doesn't even taste anything like what you buy in the store.
Right.
So it's a fun series. I'm glad that I stumbled upon it. Alex is totally right about comparing it to Wild Chicago, which is another series that I love and also find difficult to watch because of how nostalgic it makes me and kind of melancholy.
And it's kind of, I've looked up Wild Chicago. It's kind of hard to find that thing. Like I think especially with Channel 11 or many PBS stations, that even though it's public funding and all that stuff, and they're asking for money, it's like they have a huge treasure trove of archival footage of just so many things. And I would kind of think that they would sort of make it somehow available in some capacity for people to kind of go back
buy that series on DVD.
Yeah. Similar to the ones I talked about previously. There was like the hot dog documentary, and then there's the ice cream one, and they talk about
No, I've got I've watched I have those too. It's another summer series that I watch and feel depressed.
But it's a good type of depression too. You feel good about the memories because a lot of that stuff you kind of remember and recall doing when you were younger, but you're also still sad that you can't, you really unfortunately can't go back and do that.
Yeah, see, and I'm glad that you feel that way, and I think that part of it is because you have other things in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So I just look at it and think about how much better everything was for me,
Mm-hmm.
and how now my life is empty and depressing. So
I'm gonna go and watch the hot dog documentary now.
yeah, Alex is like, okay, I'm out. I'm like, no, listen to me complain.
But like I said, they've got over 700 episodes because it was on for practically a decade, and I've got I think you gave me about 80 episodes or so on that drive.
That sounds about right. I gave you everything that I've got.
Yeah, and if you're able to find it, it's don't be discouraged by the picture quality or whatever it is. It's a lot of this stuff has never unfortunately been digitalized or definitely given a Blu-ray thing. So anything,
the fact that we have that many episodes to begin available is, and it's 81 episodes, and I think one of them is a bonus episode that I downloaded off of YouTube.
Yeah. And it's, a lot of these things like this is, in many cases, it's almost like pseudo lost media. So, is whatever you're able to find, if you find something where it's as simple as like, hey, we're taking a bus trip during the fall in this one region. So
that's the dirty secret about TV production, is that a lot of these shows, because there's so many episodes, they start reusing tapes.
Yeah,
and suddenly you lose, like, the only version that exists is whatever somebody recorded on VHS in 1992.
Yeah,
and there is no way for. I don't know what WTTW's situation is. I would like to believe that in some locker there are master tapes of every episode of Wild Chicago. Mm-hmm. It is very possible that there's only 7 tapes that they just reused over and over and over again, and the only thing that exists is what someone recorded on VHS at home.
My brother, when he was working for another local, he was like interning for WGN, which is another station in Chicago. He's like not tape. It's not a tape thing, but he said that he had actually found where they stored a lot of the props and signage and stuff from the Bozo show, and it was just like some storage room off of a hallway and stuff. It was just kind of left there and just kind of piled into a corner and stuff like that. So that kind of shows you how it is with something as old and classic as the Bozo show. I can imagine
a lot of
the same thing to be with a lot of tapes and such like that.
It's interesting because you have to remember that for most people, for the people involved in making any of this stuff, it was just a job. There was no sentimentality connected to it. There was no nostalgia connected to it. It was just a job. And so half of that shit just gets thrown in the corner or thrown out because they don't give a fuck about it the same way that the audience does. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's probably some video editor who's like, I fucking hated working on Wild
because it was his weekly job.
Right.
And he had to do that stuff under a time crunch.
Right. So, but at the same time, it's like that. It's for Wild Chicago. God damn, that show is such an important slice of Chicago culture.
Because if you think
in the 90s,
because if you think about it, like the way Chicago looks now compared to our youth when that show was on, it's a complete night and day in many of these aspects. Where a lot of these neighborhoods are just totally different from how they were. I mean, this is there's probably episodes when they still had the Chicago Stadium. If you're able to find it, I give it a solid 4 pots of gold because of the important historical archival importance that it presents for that time period in Japan, and for anybody who likes Japanese stuff. So
I agree, 4 pots of gold easily. It is endlessly fascinating and entertaining. And if you don't think too much about the socio-political implications of it, then it's not depressing as much as it is to me. So your mileage may vary, but yeah, I think it's a fantastic show.
Yeah,
nice thing to put on before bed or during bed.
Yes, definitely. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Alex, we've been recording for a very long time this evening, which is not a bad thing because there's much more content to make a solid episode out of. But I think it's run its course.
Yeah.
And you have babies and work tomorrow, don't you?
Yeah, and you have work.
I have nothing.
Oh, you have a day off.
I don't even have work anymore.
Oh.
Just loneliness and cat.
Well, you can always watch some Soko tonight to fall asleep.
There we go. You tied it together.
Yeah.
But so, Alex, would you please do me a favor and wrap up episode 340 of Culture Doom?
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Brendan. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, interns, for the blow. Once again,
Also for the cocaine.
yes, during the blow. And if Will Klinger is listening, let us know how to get hands on those tapes.
Call me.
Yes.
Will, we will help co-host Wild Chicago 2021.
It's going to be awesome.
Call me, Will. I remember when you were at my workplace.
He was there?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
He was an actor for a pharmaceutical thing.
Gosh. Well, we need to get that microphone back in his hand. Anyways, but thank you very much for listening. I hope everybody had a fun time tonight and had some laughs. We're always happy.
I did.
We're always happy to present stuff to you and put on the show. On behalf of Brendan, this is Alex saying do побачення. Until next time.
I would not buy used underwear.
Okay.
I need a personal connection to it.